In this session, I am going to discuss about cylinders, the types of cylinders, and the stresses in thin cylinders. Types of cylinders. Thin cylinder. The thin cylinder is having the ratio of its internal diameter to the thickness more than 15. Thick cylinder. In thick cylinder, the ratio of the internal diameter of the cylinder to its wall thickness is less than 15. The thick cylinder is also called as thick wall cylinder. Consider a thin cylinder having thickness T, internal diameter Di, and the length of this cylindrical shell is L. So, whenever it is subjected to an internal pressure Pi, the cylindrical shell may fail in two ways. First, along the section XX, that is along the longitudinal section, dividing the cylinder into two troughs. I have shown one of the half of that cylindrical shell over here. So it may fill along the XX section along the longitudinal axis, or it may fill along the transverse section, so it may fill along the YY section. So if it is going to fill along YY section, it will be divided into two cylinders as shown over here. So there are two types of stresses induced in thin cylinders. So first stress is the tangential stress. It is acting along the transverse axis. It is acting along the transverse axis. It is the tangential stress, and as it is acting along the circumference of this shell, it is also called as the circumferential stress. The tangential stress is also called as hoop stress. The second stress induced in the thin wall cylinder is the longitudinal stress. The stress acting along the longitudinal axis of the cylinder is called as longitudinal stress. So the longitudinal stress will be along the longitudinal axis of the shell. As the thickness of the cylinder is less, the values of the stresses, that is the tangential stress and the longitudinal stress, is considered to be uniform over the entire wall thickness. Now the pressure intensity is Pi. We do know that the pressure is equals to force per unit cross section area. So we want to find out the force because of the internal pressure Pi whenever the cylinder is going to fail along the longitudinal axis. So the force in that case, because of the pressure intensity Pi, will be Pi into cross section area into cross section. Now cross section area along the longitudinal section, you can see over here that cross section area is a rectangle having width Di and length L. So it will be Pi Di into L is the force because of the pressure intensity. Now if sigma T is the circumferential stress, means the wall of this cylinder will try to resist this force, hence this circumferential or the tangential stress is going to resist this force which is developed because of the internal pressure Pi. Now this circumferential stress, for stress we do know it is again force per unit area, resisting area. So what is the force? Force is equals to sigma T into the resisting area. So we want to find out this resisting area. Now resisting area in this case is the rectangle that I have shown over here, whose width is T, that is the thickness of the cylinder, and the length of that rectangle is L. So how many rectangles are there? There are two rectangles. So why? The resisting area will be sigma T into 2 into T into L. So we have got another equation for force. So equation 1 and 2, if these are equated, means what? We are considering the equilibrium. So sigma T into 2 into T into L will be equals to Pi di into L. So what we'll get? So sigma T, the tangential stress, is equals to Pi di upon twice T. So this is the formula for the tangential stress. Now for longitudinal stress, the force because of the pressure intensity Pi will be pressure into cross section area. So if the cylinder is going to fill along the transverse section, that is along the YY section, its cross section area in this transverse section is the area of this shaded portion, that is the area of this circle. So the area of the circle is pi by 4 di square. So the force which will be present because of the pressure Pi is Pi into pi by 4 di square. Now the resisting force is because of the longitudinal stress. The longitudinal stress will act along the longitudinal axis as shown. So this longitudinal stress is going to resist, this longitudinal stress is going to resist this force because of the internal pressure. So the longitudinal stress is equals to again force per unit resisting area. So what is the resisting area? What is the resisting area in this case? The resisting area is the area of this ring. So area of this ring is, area of this ring, it is pi into di into t. So how it is pi di into t? If I am going to consider the circumference, the circumference of this circle will be pi into di, and whose thickness is t. So why its area, resisting area, is pi di into t. Now the force which is going to resist is sigma L into pi into di into t. Now equating equations 1 and 2, what we'll get? Pi into pi by 4 di square is equals to sigma L into pi di into t. So sigma L is equals to Pi di upon 4t is the longitudinal stress. Now the tangential stress is Pi di upon 2t and the longitudinal stress is Pi di upon 4t for a thin cylinder subjected to internal pressure. Hence we can say that the tangential stress is twice the longitudinal stress from these two formulae. Now as the tangential stress is greater than the longitudinal stress, the tangential stress we are going to consider while designing a thin cylinder. So the tangential stress is equated to the allowable tensile stress. Hence, while designing the thin wall cylinders, we are going to consider the tangential stress and it is Pi di upon 2t. Hence, to find out the thickness of the cylinder, it will be Pi di upon 2 sigma t, where sigma t is the allowable stress. Hence we can rewrite this equation as Pi di upon 2 sigma allowable. So this is the value of thickness of the cylinder which will sustain the pressure intensity Pi. Consider a thin spherical shell having internal diameter di and the thickness is t. Now the spherical shell is subjected to an internal pressure Pi. So this pressure will try to rupture the shell about its center into two halves. So as the sphere is a symmetrical geometry, hence the tangential stress and longitudinal stress will be equal in magnitude. So to find out the tangential stress or longitudinal stress, first of all we will try to find the force developed because of this internal pressure Pi. So force because of the internal pressure Pi will be pressure into the cross section area. So what is the cross section area of this sphere? So it will be pi by 4 into di square. So this is the force because of the internal pressure. Now we'll try to find out the force because of the stress. So force is equals to stress into area, and which area? The resisting area. So in this case it is the tangential stress and we want to find out the resisting area. So resisting area is the shaded area of this ring. So tangential stress into area will be the circumference of this circle into the thickness. So it will be pi into di is the circumference into its thickness is t. So it is sigma t into pi di t is the resisting force. So equating equation 1 and 2, that is considering the equilibrium. So sigma t into pi di into t is equals to pi into pi by 4 di square. So what we are going to get? Sigma t is equals to pi di upon 4t is the tangential stress or the longitudinal stress in sphere. So to find out the thickness of the spherical shell, it will be pi di upon 4 sigma t, where sigma t we are going to take as the allowable stress. Now the second important point is to find out the diameter of this spherical shell. So we know that The volume for a sphere, it is pi by 6 d cube. So here d is di, so pi by 6 di cube. Hence di will be equals to cube root of 6v upon pi. So this is the diameter of the spherical shell.